welcome, and good morning to the first edition of the Friday Morning Commute after Rise of Iron has dropped. Again, as always, this is your host, Rovan Doug, trying to not blind you. Sorry. I blame so many things. Technology is one of them. Alright, let's go do this. Off to the great unknown. So, Rise of Iron has officially dropped. It is officially the first Friday after Rise of Iron, and so, thus, we have a new set of inventory from Xur. Well, I shouldn't say new set of inventory. We have new inventory items from Xur, which is awesome. So he's not quite a salt seller today, especially if you're a warlock, but for the other two classes, yeah, he kind of is. So, let's go ahead and get started. For the Titans, we have the Twilight Garrison. For Hunters, we have the Celestial Nighthawk Helmet. For Warlocks, we have the Transverse, and I think I forgot the full name. But those are the new exotic Warlock boots. I think this is the first pair of exotic Warlock boots, to be honest. So now I can be fashionable in my boots. Let's see, what else? We have the Monte Carlo, as well as two ornaments. So Xur is now selling ornaments for those who are interested. We have Super Spy, which is for the Monte Carlo. And then we have the Bureau of Aeronautics, which is for the exotic Kostov auto rifle that you complete via quest inside of Rise of Iron. And then, as always, he still has his legacy exotic engram. This week it is of the Gauntlet variety. So feel free to go pick it up. Remember, legacy engrams apply to year one. I still believe it's year one exotics you currently don't own. The way that Rise of Iron's exotics are dropping makes it seem that Taken King and Rise of Iron seem to exist in the same year, which is probably why Bungie doesn't like the use of a year, more of use of expansions to designate how far along we are in the progression of the game. So, with that being said, let's get right down to business. How many of y'all completed your Moments of Triumph? Feel free to post either here on Periscope or down in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. I myself, extremely last minute, completed my Xbox Moments of Triumph. If you'll remember, I had already completed my PlayStation 4 Moments of Triumph, and I did this because I knew PlayStation was my weaker console altogether, even though it was one that I probably had more people to help on. It just wasn't my strong console, and so it was just set up so that I knew Xbox I could get done on my own in about 12 hours, and that's about what it took me. It could have been 10 or less. However, as we transition to the launch of Rise of Iron, there was a hiccup in the Rise of Iron release that brought it down to its knees. Before we could stand as Iron Lords, we had to be humbled, I would say, is a great way to explain it. Apparently, if you read the This Week at Bungie, there was some issue with the database when Rise of Iron launched. However, after finding that database issue, correcting it, we finally got into orbit. We finally got into the tower. We were ready and willing to become Iron Lords from a new generation. So, that's been done for most people. I haven't done it. I know this is extremely sad to hear, but I'm taking a small hiatus from playing most of video games. I've got work projects I need to work on, family life I need to rebalance, but I am grateful to have completed year 2 the most that I can. And to be honest, I'm excited about year 3. I really am. I feel that the book that we've been given for Rise of Iron for year 3 is the Moments of Triumph. You complete this, you complete the Moments of Triumph. Good morning, Texas Leo. I hope you're having an enjoyable morning. So I'm really excited to keep going and to complete year 3. It's just I'm gonna take my time getting into it. So today is the release of the Wrath of the Machine raid, or WATM as I would like to abbreviate it, and I am excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to watch it. The reason I don't plan on watching it is I want to run this raid blind. So, I don't know how many people know this, but I did not watch a single stream that had King's Fall running in it until I ran the King's Fall raid. And that was until May. So, from September of 15 to May of 16, I wasn't watching a stream if it was running the King's Fall raid. I would host you. I would, lurk, but I would not watch. And I don't have an issue, because this happened with me for the King's Fall raid. I don't have an issue raiding with people who've been through the raid. I find that actually is kind of somewhat more enjoyable than possibly going through it completely blind. But I want to experience sitting down at my desk, controller in hand, running through the raid. I don't want to experience vicariously through, these other streamers. Not to say that I don't enjoy watching these other streamers, like Texas Leo, Cold Chaos, Professor Broman, King Gothalion, so on and so forth. Raids, in my mind, are an activity that you have to experience at the controller and not at a computer screen. Now, unless, of course, you're doing remote play. But that's completely different. So, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. From the trailer, it makes me think that the really large machine everyone keeps seeing is not the first. Oh, no, let me correct. Is not the last boss you'll encounter in the raid, but perhaps one of the very first. And it makes me very interested to dive deep into the wall and to go to this bunker to defeat the machine, whatever this machine really is. It's probably a form of Siva that we don't want to mess with. And I'm going to put this out there. This is just speculation. I wonder if we're going to see more of the Siva-infected Iron Lord armor. And the reason I say this is from the storyline that I've seen, that final encounter with Siva, we know that the Fire Lords were a collection of pre-tower guardians. And we only fight, at least from what I can tell, we only fight one of the pieces of armor. Fellwinters. There's still others. So, I'm very, very intrigued. Now, worst case scenario, we fight a huge servitor. Huge servitor. The ultimate infected servitor, as it were. And I'm just excited all around. I'm hoping that this is the raid that balances back towards what made King's Fall enjoyable and what made Vault of Glass enjoyable. You have the difficulty of King's Fall with the ability to complete a Vault of Glass, if that makes sense. King's Fall was great. I wouldn't say great, it was good. It was a really good raid. But it was super heavy on mechanics. And mechanics in a raid are not bad. They actually force teamwork and force you to work together. However, when the specific battle of the raid takes 40 hours, not really, but it sometimes feels like that for some people, only because everybody's running right, everyone's doing their job, everyone's on their plates, the runner has the relic, slams the I totally forgot his name. The fifth knight. Just call him the fifth knight. Slams the fifth knight, and they go, and what's that? Oh, it didn't take? Oh, well, you're screwed. The vessel, thank you. I was thinking it started with a V, but I could not remember. Actually, no, I was thinking it started with an A, so vessel's better. And it just seemed to be very glitchy. There was a lot going on, and I think that perhaps there was too much going on for that raid to be consistent. Now, you go to Vault of Glass, and I'm sure there are times that it was very glitchy and inconsistent as well, and it's gotten better as Destiny has progressed. But Vault of Glass, you can still load in with 3, you can get up until Atheon, and then if one of you has to drop out, it makes it harder, but it's still doable. You can still defeat Atheon with 5 people. I would even put forth, you could defeat Atheon with 5 people using raid-only gear. Not, if you were to run the raid, get a full set for your class, full armaments based on what you wanted, even if you were using the Year 1 Gallarhorn, you could still complete it with 5 people. King's Fall is not doable like that. There's too much going on that almost requires all 6 people. Now, I'm sure there's people who've done King's Fall with 5, but they have to know exactly what's going on, even more than you have to know what's going on with the Vault of Glass mechanics. So, I want Wrath of the Machine to really hit this middle line between King's Fall and Vault of Glass, where the mechanics are fun, they're intuitive to some degree, that we can figure them out, but then if half your fire team is wiped, that you're still able to complete it. And that's another point. In different games of this nature, there are matchmaking for these in-game activities, like raids in WoW, I believe. Now, for Destiny, there's not. And that's one thing that makes it fun, is you kind of have to know the people you're playing with, or be willing to get to know them at a level that allows you to work out the mechanics. So, I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bungie's going to be sitting back, watching, cheering on the streams. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I'm here at work, so I'm going to go through the list for Xur one last time. I forgot to write down the exact name of the Warlock exotic boots, but they're new. I think they're Transverse something. So, we've got the Twilight Garrison for Titans, the Celestial Nighthawk for Hunters, Monte Carlo for everyone. Of course, we have the Transverse something for Warlocks, new exotic boots. So if you have a Warlock, these are new boots. I believe these are their first ever Warlock exotic boots. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Now we also have the Super Spy and Bureau of Aeronautics, which are ornaments. So Xur will be selling ornaments. Save up those strange coins. Save up that silver dust. Transverse steps. Thank you, Texas Leo. I knew it was transverse, and I was thinking it was steps, but I wasn't exactly sure. So we've got the transverse steps for the Warlock, Super Spy and Bureau of Aeronautics for our ornaments, Super Spies for Monte Carlo, Bureau of Aeronautics is for the Kostov exotic, and then we have the Legacy exotic Gauntlet Ingram. As far as I can tell, these Legacy Ingrams are still only for Vanilla Destiny, and are weighted towards Vanilla Destiny exotics that you currently don't own. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of research to make sure that's still the case with these. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the raid. It's going to be awesome. Please don't spoil it for me. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you again in the future. And I will see you, Starside Guardians. Bye.